Here, right?
Or I'll move it wherever you want it.
No, right there is fine. I need to reference that. I've been getting into my
Oh,
folder out.
oh,
I just
okay.
want to make the comments. Hush falls over the crowd. You notice that?
I got three long trouble. Don't you touch it.
Wrong one.
Touch it. Don't touch it.
There you go.
Testing.
Yep.
Coffee, please. Oh, that is coming through.
This is not decaf.
Isn't? That's what?
Decaf's down there.
Oh, there's a decaf down there. That's all right.
Okay, let's get
That's
this.
all right.
It says push your orange button, so you're not totally on.
You ready? You ready? Jen?
No, that's a hearing loop.
Okay, you got your coffee? You ready?
Anytime.
Call the meeting to order for the Sun Lakes Homeowners Association open session of whatever the date is, April 21st. If you'd please stand and join me in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, our first item of business this evening is the General Manager's report. Jeremy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, good evening once again, everyone. Nice to see you this evening. A few things to respond to this month. At the last meeting, we had 3 different homeowners that had posed questions, and I'd like to go ahead and give you some answers to those questions. The first one, a member questioned the funding components on a recently proposed but failed to pass the solar generating system using proposed capital funds. The board thanks you for your comments and your request for information. The board is taking your comments into consideration. The former board treasurer did respond privately to you, so if you have further questions, you can feel free to contact the general manager. A member questioned if the board had a travel reimbursement policy. No, the association does not at this time have such a policy. Historically, this has not been needed as the board has not traveled. The same member questioned the procedures for enforcing the traffic rules. The procedures that are generally outlined in the proposed rules currently published in the lifestyles for member review and comment. It should also be stated that the association has an established enforcement policy in the general statement of rules and regulations. It should further be stated that the association is governed by, among other things, the California Civil Code, or best referred to, the Open Meeting Act, aka the Davis-Sterling Act, which outlines how an association, like Sun Lakes, must institute due process in the enforcement of the governing documents. Board appreciates your comments and your questions. They take them very seriously. For more information, you can feel free to contact the General Manager's office. A member commented on the location and time for the open sessions, and more specifically, the Master Architectural Committee appeals to the board. The board strictly complies with the state, local, and federal regulations that relate to the general membership notifications and posting procedures. Open session meetings of the board are posted at a minimum 4 days in advance of the meeting. Executive sessions are posted 2 days in advance. Please reference your annual budget report and annual policy statement for specific locations of general notifications. And for a quick reference, the bulletin boards in the clubhouses and the association's website are what we utilize the most. I'd like to let you know that the next coffee with the general manager is currently scheduled for April 29th. That's next Friday morning at 9 a.m. in the multipurpose room here in the main clubhouse. The topic is going to be bidding, contracts, and projects, how the association handles those. So I look forward to seeing you all there. At this time, I'll ask Mr. Richard Murray to step up and give an update on our food and beverage operation.
Good evening, folks. My name is Richard Murray. I'm the Director of Food and Beverage here at Sun Lakes. And first of all, I've got a couple quick things to tell you about food and beverage. I want to thank you all for supporting food and beverage. A little known factoid that I'd like to talk about is 2015 was a record-breaking year. We had the best revenue and we had the best activity in the restaurant, which I gauged by items sold. So items sold, we had over 12,500 items sold, more than 2014, which is awesome. That's great. You're doing a great job supporting your restaurant. 2016 looks like it's going to be doing the same thing. We're headed in the right direction. And over the last 7 years, we have incrementally raised the amount of revenue and items sold every year for 7 years. So that's pretty awesome. So these are really good things about food and beverage. A couple of quick things about upcoming events. We have Mother's Day on May 8th. It's a big day. There's 500 to 700 people that come through the buffet. So if you want a reservation, I say make it early. 769-65. Oh, I can't remember the number now.
644.
It just escapes me.
6654.
54 is the last 2 digits. Thank you. So Mother's Day, and then exciting news tomorrow night. We're doing a brand new menu, updated menu for Friday and Saturday night. There's about 20 different items on that menu. So the chef and I put together, I think, a really great menu for you guys. So come down and support us. Hope to see you in the restaurant. And cheers, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Rich.
Is that it, Jeremy?
One more. And once again, thank you so much, Rich. Is hear me okay? Yeah, still? Not so much? A little bit more, Jay. Better? There we go. All right, so the last thing I want to mention tonight is a little bit different of the GM report, but we did something here in the last week. I want to first and foremost thank the board for allowing me to attend the 2016 CAI Legislative Day at the Capitol. I spent last weekend in Sacramento talking with a few different assemblymen as well as some senators of ours. Specifically, I met with Senator Jeff Stone. I met with Senator Mike Morrell. I spoke with Assemblywoman Melissa Melendez, and I met with Assemblyman Chad Mays, all kind of big players in the Southern California region here. 2 bills that we really discussed heavily I want to mention to you. They're sitting in the legislature right now, and you should be aware of what they're working on right now. So the first one is going to be Assembly Bill 1720. Make sure you write that one down and take a look at it. It allows owners, attorneys, to attend board meetings regardless whether the owner or, at that point, client is also present. In addition, the bill further was amended to allow, quote-unquote, any person to attend a meeting instead of the owner and on the owner's behalf. Notice the association is not required whether the attorney or other guests are being invited with or without the owner being present. What the bottom line is this does to associations is if we don't know an attorney would be attending the meeting, we would have to have the association's attorney present at all open sessions. It just simply costs more money if it got passed. You got to pay for your councilman, your attorney to be at all open sessions or all public workshops because it would allow owners to send other people on their behalf. An interesting bill. Final one is Assembly Bill 1799. Allows for automatic election of candidates to a board of directors when there is the same or less number of candidates than open seats. Interesting, the board here at Sun Lakes considered that a few years ago, but it just didn't fit into civil code quite yet. This would allow you to avoid the costly, the repeated costs of holding of elections if there are less or equal number of vacant seats. So say, for example, if you had 3 seats on the board open and only 2 people running for it, there is some process in it where you have to send out a 20-day call for all candidates and then an additional 15-day for write-in ballots to come in. And if it all still comes in either equal or less than the number of seats, it's an automatic election. So it's an uncontested election. Sun Lake spends roughly $15,000 to $20,000 a year on our annual election. That's what the cost is to do all the reproduction, the cost, the mailings, double envelopes. This bill would allow some of that alleviated cost if you had an equal number or less than seats open. an interesting bill sitting at Sacramento. So, Mr. President, I just want to conclude with that. I wanted to pass on some very good information, and once again, I thank you very much for allowing me to attend that event.
Thank you. Next is the report on executive session actions.
Yes, I have that. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Yes, good. The following is the summary on executive session actions. The Board of Directors held an executive session board meeting on April 7th, 2016, and April 21st, 2016 at 1:30 p.m. At these meetings, legal matters, member discipline, formation of contracts, and personnel matters were discussed. The following are action items the board took at these meetings. The board discussed a member's request for an age qualification variance. The board approved to send 2 delinquent member accounts to the association's collection attorney. The board received 2 different requests for a variance on a parking rule. The board discussed the legal option on surveillance camera audio recording in common areas. The board received 3 proposals for the replacement of the main clubhouse arts and crafts room tables, chairs, easels, and carts, which were due to be replaced in the reserves. After discussion, the board approved the replacement of 20 room chairs with Crate and Barrel, 2 carts from Global Industries, 3 easels from Full Compass for a cost not to exceed $4,000. During this discussion, the board felt that the tables in the room were in good condition and the replacement could be deferred. The board received 3 proposals for the replacement of the waterfall pumps at gate number 1, which were due to be replaced in the reserves. Due to their working condition, it was determined that replacing the pumps was necessary. The board voted to approve the replacement of the pumps with Legend Pump and Well Service at a cost of $86,400. The board, there are 10 pumps. There are 10 pumps at gate 1, so the $86,000 encompasses 10 different pumps. The board reviewed 3 proposals for the purchase of a portable bar that the food and beverage department would be able to use for special events in the ballroom and the veranda. This item would be a new purchase for the community and would come from the capital improvements account. After discussion, the board voted to approve the purchase with Web Restaurant at a cost of $4,092. The board reviewed 3 proposals for the replacement of the golf course maintenance computer. This item was scheduled to be replaced in the reserves and has been determined necessary to be replaced due to the condition. The board voted to table this item for further information. The board reviewed and discussed a recommendation to foreclose the lien and post-judgment direction on 2 delinquent member accounts. The board approved to foreclose the lien on APN number 421-345-010-2, as well as APN number 421-335-013-4. The board considered a member's request for a refund of annual golf dues. That request was denied per the current golf refund policy. A couple more, stay with me. The board reviewed the third-party contracts for our landscape maintenance and our pool cleaning services. After discussion, the board renewed both of those contracts for 1 year. The board reviewed the draft audit for 2015. After careful discussion, the board approved the audit subject to a few revisions. Finally, the board reviewed 3 proposals for the oversight and construction management of the 2016 pavement rehabilitation project. After reviewing the proposals, the board selected AEC to oversee the project at a cost of $13,720 with a contingency of $1,200 for lab testing of material if needed. That concludes the report on executive session actions.
Thank you, Charlie. City of Banning. Do I have any? I don't see a representative from the City of Banning. Okay. Bass area reports. Anybody on the board have anything to report on from the Bass area? I will report one minor thing. Last Tuesday at the City Council meeting, Sun Lakes Country Club was given an award from Waste Management in regards to our recycling. They have a program that they periodically acknowledge organizations and individuals in regards to their recycling, and Sun Lakes was their chosen corporation, company. I don't know how often they do that, but I represented Sun Lakes and received a little thank you. So that's the City of Banning. Sub-associations, Lakeside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Tibbetts from Lakeside. Is that right?
Put it right in.
Is this okay?
Put it right in.
Okay. We just completed our elections like everyone else did. I am the president for Lakeside. Our vice president is Mary Grace. Second vice president, Marion Putnam. Secretary, Rebecca Allen. And treasurer is William McLeod. I believe William's a new resident, new meet. We latched onto him real quick. Hopefully he'll be around a while. We finished installing our drip system in all of our common areas, and it's up and running, and I'm hoping that not much tweaking is going to go on. The results are looking pretty good so far. We're seeing less water running down the streets, and hopefully we'll save quite a bit. Thank you.
Thank you. Lakeside 2. Fairway Villas. Delegate Assembly report. I'm looking out there and I don't see Joe. I guess there's no report. Okay. Committee reports. Finance. Oh, before I go any further, anybody have any other slips? I have 2 slips here for comments at the end. All right.
Fiscal.
I think we have a maximum, don't we? Okay. Committee reports. Finance Advisory Committee. Golf Advisory.
Hello, my name is Joanne Dixon, and I'm the chairman of the Golf Advisory Committee. The welcome package is complete and distributed to the appropriate parties. Tours of both courses are scheduled, and you may sign up in the pro shop. And we've had, I think there's about 20 people signed up right now, so that's good. After the last GAC meeting, we went to the maintenance yard and had a seminar and tour of the maintenance facilities with Mark. And boy, it's way more complicated than us going out to our garage and turning our timers on and off. It was very impressive. I would also like to commend Al Valacorsa, our golf course director, and Mark Birchfield, our golf course superintendent. We are really fortunate that we have these 2 knowledgeable men on our staff. The bunker project is almost complete, and Mark saved us a great deal of money by using his own staff to help the contractor of the bunker repair or change, and also because Al and Mark have a great association with Western Turf, so all this sod they're getting, they got at a great price. So they work very hard for you guys. If you would just talk to them sometimes, you would get on the wave of their enthusiasm for what our course could be and should be. And they go right down to the big projects like the ponds and the bunkers, down to what flowers we should plant. So when you looked on that fairway and those flowers are in full bloom, you would just go, oh my goodness, that is a great sight. You know, so we are really lucky to have these guys around, and I hope you support them in what they do. The board should be commended in supporting them and hiring them in the first place. Okay, so that's all I've got to say right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
You could look at the driving range. Looks great right now. You can't. It's really green and it's so pretty. Take a look.
Library Committee.
Hi, I'm Russ Anderson, and I have the good fortune of being the chairman of the Library Committee. It's a very positive thing that the Library Committee does for you, and the Library Committee has asked me to thank Doug Swenson for all of his hard work with the committee over the last couple of years. He gets down on his hands and knees and helps us get our book sales, make our book sales a success. We have a new activity that we're working with, and we're looking for a more efficient way to provide audiobooks for you. In addition to the regular libraries, our large print books, we want to have the ability to allow you to check out audiobooks. So we're setting up a checkout system, and right now we're starting with Wednesdays from 1 to 4 p.m. in the main clubhouse lobby. You can go there and check out audiobooks to bring back to your house to play, to take on a trip with you. But we had to set up a checkout system to make sure that the books get returned. We've got mysteries, thrillers, romance, general fiction, and all of you are invited to participate in this process. The Library Committee wants to make things available to make your lives better. And one of those things we think is going to be the audiobook system. So feel free to jump in there and take advantage of this opportunity and enjoy the books. Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. Lifestyles?
Good evening. I'm Charlene Fink, Chairman of the Lifestyles Committee, and I just have a brief report. We've just called attention to our beautiful cover, thanks to John Ferguson, who submitted this picture. And please, you have any nice pictures on the back page, tells you how to send it in and to be considered for the cover. Also, thanks to all the people in the clubs, groups, and organizations. You're doing a fabulous job sending in your articles. On time, well-written, entertaining. Thank you so much. And also thanks to Courtney Taylor, our editor, who puts together this fabulous magazine every month for us. We're so proud of her. Thanks to John Clark for being our liaison at the Lifestyles Committee, for bringing us information and helping us manage all the things that we need to be talking about at Lifestyles Committee. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene. Maintenance and landscape? Thank you. Marketing advisory? Thank you. Master Architectural Committee? No report. Recreation Advisory Committee?
Good evening. I'm Joyce White from the Recreation Advisory Committee. And I don't know if any of you in the audience took one of our excursions to the Shenyang. We had actually 3 buses from Sun Lakes, 3 different locations. And I understand the feedback was very positive and people truly did enjoy the performance. And it's good that our committee can realize that we're bringing the kind of entertainment to our community that they can truly enjoy, and it was very worthwhile. Thank you. Next on the agenda is, if you want to shred your world, we're going to have Shred Day on May 6th in our main parking lot. You can bring up your paperwork that you want to have processed or shredded. Also, the garage sales are coming in May. I suggest that you check your lifestyles for your district's information and dates. We would like to remind you that the times when the sale is over, to make sure that all the unwanted material is put back off of your front yard or garage or whatever, courtesy to your neighbors and to the community. And if you feel like you really need to eat more, come up and have a slice of cake tomorrow afternoon. The weather's lovely and it should be a nice day to get out with all your friends. Thank you.
Joyce, is there a charge for the shredding?
I don't believe there is. Oh, is there? $4? Okay. It's in the, I think it's in the lifestyle. Yeah, I didn't bring it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. RV storage? Thank you. Restaurant and lounge? Safety and security? Bingo. Thank you. Moving on to consent agenda. Very short consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the agenda, which is to approve the open session minutes from March 16th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Moving on to old business. The first item of business is the review, discuss, act upon director request to form ad hoc decorating committee.
This thing works great, yeah. This item was something that was tabled at least once in the last couple of sessions. We are apparently having some problems getting decorating help. I guess the two people that have been most instrumental in doing the decorating are having physical and or health issues, and there's been suggestions made that we go outside and spend money to have people come in and decorate for the various holidays. And my suggestion is to form a committee and to solicit volunteers from people within Sun Lakes that have or think they have artistic capability and know what looks good when it comes time to put things up on the walls and in the lobbies, etc. So if you're interested, who do we want them to contact? Me? Jason. Contact Jason and sign up to be on the ad hoc decorating committee. This doesn't mean that it'll be a standing committee that you have to meet every month or every week or anything like that. It'll be as needed when we decide that we want to decorate for a particular holiday. That's all I have.
I believe this has been in the lifestyles in regards to requesting input for the last couple of months, and so I believe we'll just, with no formal motion, we'll just leave it in Jason's hands to move forward based upon the volunteers he gets.
This works for me.
Item 2 is review, discuss, and act upon request from the billiard group for a computer, cabinet, and printer for the main clubhouse billiards room. Do I have a motion?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. The item, how does it go? Yeah, what it amounts to is that we have an old printer that, or excuse me, an old computer that we can already use for this type of activity. They have a cabinet already in the billiard room that they can use to house it. And so what it amounts to is the printer, which is a cost of anywhere from $80 to $100. So with the installation of a couple locks, the amount comes to a staggering $120. So we have...
I said something.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. The first thing is, can everybody hear me? Wow. Okay. Past practice has been that when the particular group wants something like this, and I would refer to the bocce people who had benches and a few other groups, they have split the cost with the board. In that, this is the grand sum of $120. Without fear of establishing a precedent, I would like to forego the split process and authorize the board to pay the full amount.
Any other comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second to cover the $120 for the printer and the connection in the billiard room. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Item C, review, discuss, and act upon recommendation from the Sun Lakes Paddle Tennis Club concerning court usage. This was an item that was on the agenda last month. It was tabled for further discussion and is now in front of the board again. I have a motion. We have a... Okay.
Yeah. I move we approve the recommendation submitted by Jason.
Second.
Okay, the motion submitted from the Rec Department Jason states that in lieu of the equal number of participants, basically, in the two organizations, that the court time, which is, there's a lot of court time, obviously, 24 hours a day, but the times that are really in conflict are the 8 to 10 a.m. time frame, and then following that, the 10 to 12. So the recommendation is that pickleball get the 8 to 10 on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and paddle tennis get the 8 to 10 on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Sunday is left open. This gives each one of those organizations 3 days of the prime 8 to 10, and leaves the seventh day, which you obviously can't divide 7 by 2 equally, as an open day for whomever plays. And then following that, on the days that you have the 8 to 10, the other organization has 10 to 12. Have any comments?
I have a question.
Just a reminder that we tape the show, and the show, yeah, the meeting. Sometimes it's a show, and the taping can be heard from up here. But if you don't talk, if you talk out in the audience, we can't get that recorded, and the people that are watching on TV get nothing. So we need to have you get up there.
Yes, thank you.
Can't hear you. Closer, close.
You got to put it right in your mouth. I'm sorry.
It's touching now. Is that not adequate?
I know that's the way it has to go.
There is nothing on the agenda item that concerns pickleball, but I represent the pickleball group. We're not aware of any recommendation by Jason to the effect that you just explained.
Our understanding is 2 people from each group met with him, and he asked, he gave them the schedule, but neither group would agree. They said they would leave it up to the board.
The board received material that both groups had indeed agreed to the recommendation that Jason had made.
Okay. I agree with that. We saw that. When he changed and went to the new, I looked at the old schedule that you both had originally agreed to, and his new one. The only change was he flipped on Friday.
We know that.
That was the only change to this whole thing, which gave the paddle tennis 3 days in the morning. So I don't see a big change in this, and because neither one of you could get together and decide, and you told him we'd leave it up to the board, so that's what we're doing.
You said that Jason made a recommendation. Wouldn't it have been protocol for both the clubs to be apprised of that recommendation?
We can ask Jason. He's right there. Jason?
I just asked him, and he said he did not tell us. He originally said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Both clubs agreed on it like you wanted it. Then I just asked him, how did this one come about? He says, after we met, and I met with them, along with another party, he changed this recommendation. And I said, why didn't you tell us? And he said, I don't know. Why?
It seems a dereliction that a whole group of people would be completely left in the dark on these things. It just seems like a very
I understand what you're saying.
way to operate.
I understand the original decision was 4 and 3. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday,
4 and
Tuesday,
3
Thursday, Sunday.
with evenings also scheduled.
Right. Well, we worked those out in the afternoons.
It's all detailed, and Jason outlined it very thoroughly in December.
I understand that, but at that time, the way it was laid out was the fact that pickleball, and I'm a pickleball player. I'm not getting against pickle. I'm just saying that at that time, the pickleball team players was a very active group, and the paddle tennis was not. It was a very small group. That has changed, and in order to equalize, that is what has been recommended to the board.
Pickleball is still a larger participating, and now they have 4 days because they have Sunday, Doug. They have Sunday, and Sunday morning, 8 till 10, they're out there. And they always have, so they have the 4 days. We just have the 3 now. And we weren't, the biggest issue is that Jason does not tell us that he makes a different recommendation than the one that was before us. And this is the first we've heard.
We're questioning the process. I'm not here to challenge your decision. I grant that you have absolute authority to grant, however you want to allocate. But I think the process has not been followed because you've changed it after the agreement was reached between the groups at the board's behest. And it just seems a very shabby way of conducting the business.
I agree that was a shortcoming, that you did not get the letter.
Shortcut.
Yeah, I understand. Well, it wasn't a shortcut because we want to make sure. I was hoping that everybody was informed. I'm sorry.
I think it's the group. The groups are very good.
Jeannie, we have a comment.
Thank you. My name is Jeannie McGuire, and I represent the Paddle Tennis Club. 24 years ago, we started this club with 1 court. We have finally went to 3 courts, but that's here nor there. This has been going on for 1 year. Sunday was never, ever, ever a scheduled day for us that we were aware of. We used to have Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And pickleball had Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Sunday was always, always an open day. We tried to sit down and explain this to them, and we just wanted what was equal. We agreed to have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and we agreed to take any one of those days, any one of the 3 days, and Sunday always being an open day for both clubs, all of Sun Lakes, family and friends. It's always been that way. It's never been changed. So all we want is our 3 days of prime time, and pickleball have their 3 days of prime time, and Sunday is open for both clubs.
One thing that, from the board's perspective, is that the information supplied to the board.
Get it closer to your mouth. No.
It's worked fine before. Everybody, that's where it was. I don't do that. Jason, where are you? Okay. The information that was supplied to the board indicated the total numbers within each group were relatively close. On that basis, it seems to us that an equal division of the time would be fair to all. And that's basically the information, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that we received from Jason. Okay?
I just have a question to ask.
You got to put it. I hate to say it, but you have to stick it right in your mouth. I hate that, but that's the way you have to do it.
Is this better? You got it? Okay. My question is, it's my understanding that the numbers in the different clubs are not at all close. They came to a resolution in December. Both clubs agreed. We have emails from both sides saying they were thrilled with the outcome. Now they have recruited some. My question, and that's fine, if there are a lot of players on both sides, then that's great, and that's as it should be. Can there be some provision where, and we have people taking tally of how many people play, but there are times that the play on the paddle tennis side is very minimal. Can we revisit this, or if in fact these numbers don't hold, can this be revisited? Because in December, they were thrilled with the outcome, and by February, they were not. So the question is, if they have recruited some to play to fill the rosters, and if those people in fact are playing a lot and the rosters are equal, then that could be. However, Sunday is always a paddle tennis day. Picklers don't play on Sunday. So this gives them 4 days, and it gives picklers 3. It's just how it is. But, and it's ridiculous that it's had to come to this, because there was an agreement reached. But if it gets to a point where there are very few paddlers again, at what point and how does this get readdressed? And I agree, it's ridiculous.
Thank you.
Can always be readdressed.
I would suggest that if Jason's recommendation, most recent recommendation, is passed by the board, that Paddle Tennis change their advertisement in Lifestyles to indicate that their days are Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, or Friday, and that Sunday is an open day for both groups.
And I think that you're right. If we have a situation where we have an organization that is utilizing the facilities and no longer utilizes the facilities, and there's another organization that can utilize that, that can be readdressed. I mean, we've readdressed this far more times than we wanted to. We understand that. So I think probably what we need to do is we need to move forward on it and see how it works out. And if we have some disparity, we have to address it after that fact. At this point in time, I think we just have to move forward.
Can I say something then? It is on. Can everybody hear me? Thank you. There's one other issue, and I don't know whether it's part of this resolution, and with the fear of pouring a little oil on the fire, there's the issue of on the given days for a particular group and people getting on the court prior to the group's authorized time. In other words, if a group comes on at their authorized time is 8 o'clock and somebody shows up at 7 o'clock or 10 minutes to 8 and says, well, we want to finish our game, I think that should be covered by a rule. When it's 8 o'clock, you're off the court. The court belongs to the group to which it's assigned.
That's correct, because we're only assigning the times from 8 to 10 and from 10 to 12. So if anybody does want to play from either organization prior to that or after that, it is open play, but they do have to get off at 8 o'clock, as we say, because the other organization is coming on. So at this point in time, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 5-0. Okay, item number, we're moving on to new business. All right. As you know, we had an election last week, and we have a new board up here in front. We have Sandy Moyer on the far right, who is our secretary. We have Jim Searcy, who is second vice president, John Clark, who is our first vice president, Dan Comerford, who is our treasurer, and I am your president. Along with that, when you do have elections, we have, as you all know, we have lots of committees that advise the board on a variety of subjects. And we have liaisons, representatives from the board that participate in those meetings. And so I just wanted to run through those committees so you could get the information as to who the representatives were. For bingo, it's Sandy Moyer. For Lifestyles, it's myself. For the GAC, it's John Clark. For the library, it's myself. Maintenance and landscaping, Jim Searcy. Marketing, Jim Searcy. Recreation, Doug Swenson. Restaurant and lounge, Sandy Moyer. Safety and Committee, Dan Comerford. RV Storage is John Clark. Finance is Dan Comerford. And the Delegate Assembly is myself and John. We also have the MAC, which is the Architectural Committee, and that is an organization that we rotate. Every 3 months you have a different liaison because it is a long, well, it's every other week or twice a month. Anyway, for the first 3 months of May through July will be Dan, August through October is Sandy, November through January is Jim, and February through April is John. I'm not included in that because okay, I have that. One other thing that we had was the delegates. Do I have that? Yes, I do. I do have the delegates. Here we are. Every other year we have to elect new delegates and alternates. This was the year for new delegates and alternates. So therefore, if you'll bear with me, I will, there it is. Okay, I will read the delegate and the alternate name in each district. District 1 did not have a delegate. The alternate delegate is Claire Field. District 2 is Alan Sazkar and Priscilla Sazkar. Oh, that's husband and wife. Third is Maureen Condon and Jan English. District 4 is Anita Temple and George Johns. District 5 is Betty McMillan and Barbara Willens. District 6 is Wade Sampson, sorry, and Nancy Murray. District 7 is Frank DiNucci and Fran Dreyer. District 8 is Lori Hazelden and Mark Kalango. And District 9 is Denny Ruggenstein and Linda Vieira. District 10 is Linda Powers and Peggy Laurel. District 11 is Melinda Jones and Don Troyer. District 12 is Jeanette Torrey and Joe Bailey. District 13 is Patricia Wiltshire and Jean Vaughn. District 14, Evelyn Hawkins and Jack Burnham. District 15, Chuck Massey and Joan Donahoe. District 16, Jim Curry and Bev Rashid. District 17, Linda Spalding and Nita Cook. District 18, Joe Firmino and James Grundy. District 19, Jack Sidwell and William Blackway. District 20, Ed Fiedler and Dennis Plyman. District 21, Tanya Makarowicz, good pronounce, and Randall Chapman. District 22, Stan Ziegler, and we don't have an alternate in District 22. And District 23, Bob Albad and Leon Fixie. So those are the delegates. They'll be posted if you want to check further. We had 5 ladies who had spent a lot of time on the district delegates, and they have retired, if you want to use that term. And so I want to thank those ladies for their service and hope they stay involved as they can. All right. We've got committee assignments. Oh, yes, most definitely. We had one prior board member who was an incumbent and did not win re-election, Kevin Wolfswinkel, and I want to thank him for his fabulous 4 years. I spent 3 years on the board with him, and his contribution was invaluable, and I really want to thank him for his efforts. Okay, we go on to new business item E. Is a recommendation to discuss and act upon a request for installing Wi-Fi in the South Clubhouse. Spec of information prior to that. We approached this subject several months ago. At that time, it was a request from an individual. Only one person had shown an interest, and we didn't feel that the cost warranted going forward for that minor effort. But now we've got further information, and so that's what the request is. Do I have a motion?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. not only if we're going to put in. Thank you. Sorry, folks. I make a motion to that we proceed. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. That we proceed with the installation of in the South Clubhouse. And as part of that, I would add that we also put it into the North Clubhouse so that they're both equal.
Second.
Just a little added information that it comes to monthly fee of something like about $120 a month to cover this. We've got a lot of organizations now that are using the clubs that need Wi-Fi in order to make presentations and whatever comes over. So as opposed to just an individual person wanting to sit over there and play games, it is an important endeavor for the clubs. Any further comment? Call for a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. And that club is happy with that. It is interesting, you know, we, as those of you who have tried to schedule a meeting or an activity in one of our clubhouses, they are utilized all the time. And with technology moving forward, it used to be that people would get over there and they'd bring a boom box, do this and that, but we've moved beyond that, I guess, some of us anyway. Some of you, probably better stated. Okay, item F is review and discuss and act upon the request from the Sun Lakes 8-ball group to install 5 8x10 framed pictures in the billiard room. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the installation of 5. Thank you, folks.
Don't put it
As you
on.
get older, it's hard to multitask.
Second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? The billiard room is, of course, an enclosed room, and they have taken, many pictures, but they have made 5 of them into pictures that look like the old days in the billiard room. And they want to utilize a bit of decoration internally to the billiard room. So I'll call for a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Nice going there. Yeah. We already had the motion. 5-0, Tammy, thank you.
We got there.
Okay. Item 8 is review, discuss, and act upon a request from the Women of Hopes to host their annual golf tournament here in Sun Lakes, October 23rd of this year.
So moved.
Any discussion? This has been an ongoing request. We've done it several years in a row. I don't know how many, but it's a great organization and a great day for those that participate. I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Okay, we've got review and act and discuss and act upon request from the Bingo Advisory Committee to donate $2,500 to the Sun Lakes Charity Week. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to
Just a second.
I'll second.
Yeah.
Okay, any discussion on that?
There was an issue that came up in our executive session earlier today about the legality of,
Bingo's a little bit different.
is it? Oh, and then I back off. Bingo is a separate issue. Thank you.
Not our money.
Bingo. Bingo does raise funds, and they can only use them to go back to the participants or to donate to charity. And so this is their way of taking some of their quote excess funds and helping the community. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Okay, now you folks get to listen a little bit. Where are we at here?
So you want me to read this or you got it?
Hmm?
You want me to read this for you?
You can go ahead if you want. I'll turn the next one over to Jeremy.
Well, good evening again. This document is made a part of and attached to here in the minutes of the meetings of the Board of Directors on April 21st, 2016. The following accounts have become delinquent. An intent to lien letter has been sent in accordance with the association's collection policy. The board hereby instructs management to record a lien against the following delinquent accounts should the assessments not be paid within the time frame established in the intent to lien letter. Account number 00100-0672, 00103-4253, account 00100-3491, account 00101-0688, account 00102-1402, account 001001561, account 00100-2803, account 00102-5741, account 00116-6163, account 00101-3863, account 00102-8175, account 00116-7146, account 00101-7429, account 00105-1430, account 00110-9874, and finally 00100-2609.
Very good.
Thank you. For those of you who have been here before us, that can sometimes get very long. This one wasn't too bad, but it is a lot of numbers. We're required to say that, so thank you for listening.
Motion is second. Yeah, I so move.
Second.
Call for the vote. In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0 to accept. Thank you. Okay. That being said, the next item on the agenda is the comments from the audience. I have 3 different people. First one, Phil Jackson. Yep, it's on there. Just put it in the mouth.
Phil Jackson, 6238 Turnberry.
It's not on.
You're doing fine.
They can't hear it. They can't hear it. The left button, hold it down until it's in.
Phil Jackson. 6238 Turnberry. Thank you. Last month I used this forum to mouth off a little bit about some concerns I had for the admin office not answering telephones and difficulty finding the location of a supposedly open meeting. Anyway, after the meeting, Tammy came up to me and expressed some great concern that perhaps she had disappointed me. I felt compelled to come up here and make sure that if any of you heard my comments last month as meaning that I was disappointed in Tammy, I wanted to clear that record right now. Tammy, I don't pretend to know Tammy well, but I've dealt with her over the years when I was on the architectural committee and whatnot. Tammy is as responsive and competent as anybody we've got in Sun Lake. She's a wonderful asset to our place. I left the message on her phone rather than any of the other 5 or 6 phones that I called that day, precisely because I knew I could count on Tammy if I could count on anybody. So I wanted to clear the record on that, and Tammy, my apologies for any discomfort that I caused you. Thank you.
Thank you. Barb.
Thank you very much. Can somebody hear me?
Yep.
Okay, coming loud and clear. All right, thank you. Barbara Jesus, 540 Pine Valley. I just wanted to continue to pursue some of the some information I personally would like to see come forward in the board meetings that appear in executive session as to reserve items and expenditures and capital items that information's being conducted in executive session. And I'd like to hopefully see, especially based on some of the candidate statements, that some of that information be brought to the homeowners maybe 30 days before it goes into executive session. So if we would like to give any input, we have time to do so, and we know that the item is going to be pending. Thank you.
Thank you. Donna? Pardon? Oh. I'll just read these and then we'll move on. We got 3 from Donna. First one was, where do we stand on readdressing the dog park issue with new figures? Second was, since the state of California allows dogs on outdoor restaurant patios, has it been discussed to allow them on the sandwich patio? And third, has a lounge expansion been discussed after the success of the ballroom with bad influence? Last Friday, was it? I believe it was last Friday. So those are the 3. All right, that's the end of the comments from the audience. Comments from the board. Sandy?
I just want to thank everyone who supported me in the election. I look forward to serving you, and I look forward to working with the committees that I've been assigned. Thank you.
Jim?
I would like to thank everybody who voted for anyone in the election, because that's an important aspect of our governance in Sun Lakes. I particularly like to thank those who included me on their ballot. I campaigned on transparency in board activity for the residents. In this afternoon's executive session, a number of purchases and several contracts were approved in executive session. I would like you to know that in each case, a motion was made to table those to the next available executive session, which in each case was denied. And I voted to abstain.
Public session.
Next available open session. Oh, open session. Thank you. I voted in abstention in each of those, despite the fact that on a number of them I very strongly supported them, simply because I believe that this community deserves open activity, and you will find that on the next executive session, a motion is already on the agenda to move all such items to the open session. So stay tuned.
Dan?
I submitted my technology. I submitted my first effort at the Treasurer's report to go into the lifestyles. It'll come out probably the next week and a half. It's got a little different format. The information in there is very, very brief, because we got the financial information actually the night before I had to submit the report. I did include my name and email address in there for comments and questions, and I eagerly ask for your support. If you've got comments or questions, don't hesitate to contact me about it. The draft audit report was mentioned earlier. We are going to be sending it out, but we're going to be sending it out with a disclaimer in our letter to the homeowners. We have a capitalization methodology issue with the auditors, and until that's resolved, it's going to be sent out. I don't want to use the words under protest, but it's conditional. Next month, we will have financial reviews occur during the open session. What that means is that the board members will get the financials sometime during the course of the month, and they will submit their questions to Jeremy, and he will provide information, and that information will be discussed during the open session. We are starting the budget process for 2017. We are in the process of putting together the budget direction to PCM for them to bring back to us what they think the budget ought to be. And if you don't have a copy of it, you can go into the admin office and get the budget preparation schedule, when the meetings are going to occur and where they're going to occur. Please, if you're at all interested, show up. We'd like to have at least this many people, if not more, and we can reschedule from the admin conference room to the multi-purpose room to here if we get this many people to show up. Thank you.
John? I keep picking this. Can you hear me now? Good, thank you. Thank you. I'm just glad to be back on the board. Appreciate the people who voted for me. In my new role as vice president, I hope I can continue to make a contribution. I enjoy doing that. I think we've got a great community, and I'd like to see it continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Just an add-on to Dan's statement about the budget process and the attendance in the meetings that are in the open session. Please, if you plan on attending, please call Tammy and let her know. We can only handle 30 people in the boardroom, and with the people that are given, we're halfway already. So if we get a lot of people, we're going to have to move it out of the boardroom, and we need to know that in advance. We can't change that 5 minutes before the meeting. So if you're going to attend any of the budget meetings, please let Tammy know, and she can keep tabs, and we can move it accordingly. The age verification survey is a hot item. We're at about 3,500, something like that. So we're over 50%. We're moving along pretty much at the rate that we were hoping. But please, if you haven't done it, or if you know of someone who hasn't submitted theirs, please encourage them to get that taken care of so we can eliminate any issues towards the end of the summer, if you want to use that term. We've got an August 1st deadline that we've put out to the membership to respond. After that, we're going to have to go knocking on doors, if you want to use that term, to reach that point. That's a very, very important situation. We have to have that 80%, or we are in rough shape, if you want to just use that term. I just wanted to add one last thing. I've had a lot of reports lately about the, I guess I'll use the word, men's golf attire on the golf course. Men's attire on the golf course. There are rules as far as dress code for ladies and men. Ladies seem to do a pretty good job of their adhering to their rules. Men, especially the guests, if you're bringing somebody from outside and they're going to be playing golf with you, please observe their attire and let them know when they are in violation. It's very simple. You got to have a collar on your shirt. You keep your shirt tucked in and no jeans. I mean, you know, it's pretty easy, but it seems to me that the guests, when I see people driving around in the rental carts, they seem to be the ones who are abusing the privilege. I know some people start out with their shirt in their trousers, and then it works its way out some way, shape, or form. But if you're playing with someone that happens, just remind them that just tuck your shirt in. It's such a simple thing. On that note, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.